Hello, this is Jasmine and welcome to another Kattober video. So this prompt is from day 2, which is shadow. So originally I was going to put several of these prompts together into one video, like have day 2 to 5 or something like that, but I have realized that even though I intended to make these smaller and not as detailed, I ended up making pretty detailed illustrations for every prompt that I have done so far, and that is not a bad thing. As long as I can do it, I find it extremely fun. But because of that, I'm going to release the other prompts. I have them recorded, but I'll release them as, say, a topic kind of video. So I'm curious right now if any of you guys have any topics that you want me to talk about, preferably art related, but you know, they could be topics about something else, I guess, if you want me to talk about something random, and then I can release them at a later date, especially if it's like a rainy day and I don't have anything made up that I need to put out that week. I'll probably also release those videos early on my Patreon once I get a topic to talk about and get them filmed. So if you want to possibly have access to early videos and stuff, my Patreon is Jasmine Zelmer, so you can check that out. But anyways, on to the actual topic of this video, which isn't the painting because I'm just practicing with gouache and doing my thing. The topic of this video is actually what are my thoughts on Inktober, Hovember, art prompts in general, like the whole do a drawing or an illustration every single day for a month. What do I think about that? Is it worth it? Should you do it? Should you be trying to strive for full pieces like I did? Should you just be doing doodles? Is it detracting from other work that you could be doing? And that's what I'm going to talk about. Personally, I've never completed a full month of art prompts, so here's hoping with this one. I find it kind of similar to when I did the sketchbook slam challenge, which I also did not complete, but I made it quite a ways in my opinion, I made it quite a ways. And I think a lot of the problem that people have with these art prompts is feeling discouraged when you can't complete them, or when you miss a day, or missing a day and being like, okay, well, I will do 2 the next day, and then missing another day and being like, okay, now I'm 3 behind, and just getting bogged down, and allowing that to make you feel bad and make you feel like you have failed. And I know there's been a lot of things put out there where people say it's okay to do them at your own pace. There's even a couple prompt challenges where it's like weekly. And I think that is great, but I do understand being of the mindset where, oh no, I've missed a day or 2, and suddenly you just don't feel like you can do it anymore. Not like you physically can't, but you just feel like it's not even worth it anymore to continue, because I am like that too. And I struggle with art prompts in that respect, as well as in other areas of my life. Like in school, if I didn't do homework for a subject, then it suddenly felt like, why even bother to do any of the homework? If I can't do all of it, or if I didn't turn something in, or if I didn't show up for one class, like if I skipped class, then why bother at all? And I really don't have any like wise advice for that. That is just something that I have always struggled with, but it is something that I've always kind of felt a little bit alone in, especially back in school days. So I do want to put out there that if you struggle in this way with art prompts and other aspects of your life, that you're not alone. I also struggled that way. And if you just heard a bunch of noise because it got picked up on my microphone, that is my cat knocking everything down. So that is, I feel like that fits in with a Kattober prompt fairly well. But my advice for prompts, and especially daily prompts, is plan for what you think you actually can accomplish, especially if you struggle with feelings of demotivation if you do not finish. So if you particularly are going to school or working full-time or have other responsibilities that take up large portions of your day, then I would recommend sticking to a doodle and like actually sticking to it and being like, I am just going to do doodles for each prompt, or sticking from the beginning and saying I'm only going to do a prompt every week or something like that. Because if you plan it from the beginning, then it doesn't feel like a failure when you're not doing some of them, or only pick and choose your favorite one. But also, if the art prompts are too stressful and you feel like it is demotivating and bad for your mental health, I recommend not doing them at all and just enjoying seeing other people. Just because everyone else is doing art prompts and stuff doesn't necessarily mean that that is the route that your art is taking. You might be working on something big. You might be working on something that you're adding a little bit to every day. Or you might just be in the planning stages. I know that for my illustrations, sometimes I think about them for weeks or even longer before I even touch pencil to paper or paintbrush to paint. Like, I really think on them. There have been some times where I don't do art for a while and then I jump in because I'm inspired. And I think it's important to remember that every single artist comes at art in a different way. Every artist is inspired in different ways. Every artist works in different ways. Every artist takes breaks in different ways. Some people think about art the entire time they're taking a break. Sometimes people don't take breaks. Like, honestly, some artists, they don't take breaks, and you might see that and be demotivated, but it doesn't mean that they're better. It means that they work in a different way and a different flow than you. I've noticed that a lot of people that do larger artworks, they tend to work slower. And that makes sense, right? And you see someone else doing that and you're like, yes, that makes sense. Of course, your big, large thing, you're taking your time. You're not putting that out every single day. But then when it comes to yourself, you might be like, oh, but I should be, because then you're also looking at other artists that you admire. Artists that put out artwork frequently. And even if it is high quality, high detailed stuff, again, every artist comes at art differently. And every artist also progresses differently. So you might not progress as quickly as you would like, but you will get there eventually, and you'll look back and you'll be like, I don't know why I was so worried. But back to the art prompt theme, do I think they're a good idea? I think they're interesting. I think that they're very inspiring. I think it's fun to look at all of this art, but I also think that it kind of adds this air of comparing yourself to others, that it's not the point of it, and obviously not everyone does this, but when you're posting art every single day and your hour or so of working on a piece does not equal the same as all of these other people that you're seeing posting their doodle of the day, and especially if people refer to them as doodles or sketches but they're actually refined work, I think that can be a problem. And honestly, I think people should not label their work as a doodle or a sketch if it is refined. Even if it doesn't take you very much time or effort, you have to understand that other people are going to look at that and they're going to say, that's a doodle, when in reality it's not. If you refine it, it's not. But as a whole, yes, I do think they're a good idea. I think they're very fun. I love art memes and art prompts and challenges, and I just think that we as an art community should make sure to lift up everyone doing these challenges, and also make sure to stop by the people that are only putting out a couple and let them know that that's great and they're doing good. For me personally, art challenges haven't been very demotivating as much as I just work on them a little bit and then kind of stop, but that's kind of how I have always approached art. I have a million different projects, so that's nothing new to me. So to wrap all of that up, you should do art prompts, for one, only if you actually want to. You should do the kind of art prompts or the workload that you feel like you can actually accomplish, whether or not that's full artworks or doodles, and you should take into consideration your job or your other work or your school work. You should also take into things like the weekend. I don't work on my weekends, and that's 3 days out of the week because my boyfriend doesn't work and I want to spend quality time. So you should also take that into account. You're going to have to, if you want to continue doing it daily, plan ahead and maybe do more than one. You should take into account your own workflow and whether or not you think that an art prompt challenge fits in with it, and what do you want to put out there in the world. If you feel like you can only do doodles, but you don't want to fill up your art space with doodles and you don't feel like it would add anything for you or any inspiration or anything like that, then by all means just don't do them and enjoy the art prompts that other people are doing. That's absolutely fine. I feel like it also could be a very good case for inspiration, where you take these art prompts and you use them as inspiration, maybe thumbnails for pieces that you might want to do in the future, and you don't have to share them. I want to reiterate that you do not have to share your daily prompts if you don't want to. There's nothing making you do it, and if it makes you uncomfortable, then you should just keep them for yourself and for your own enjoyment. The biggest part of art prompts is, are you having fun? If you're not having fun, then I don't think art prompts are for you. But if you are having fun, then that's the whole point, right? Now, I'm not going to go in on any of the controversy around Inktober that happened, or like other prompt lists and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm doing Kattober by Cat Volk, and I think it's really fun. But you should pick a list that really inspires you. So if you're not into ink, you don't want to do Inktober, don't do Inktober. If you do want to do Inktober, but you don't want to do it by like the actual ink traditional quote-unquote rules, then don't do it by the rules. You don't have to, there are no rules in art, you don't have to follow them. But this was more a video just on my thoughts on things like daily challenges, because they are very much a challenge for almost everyone, and don't feel bad if you struggle with that. But that about wraps it up, I think, for this video. I sped this illustration quite up because I did take my time with this artwork. But I hope that you guys enjoyed it and my little talk about Inktober and art prompts and all of that kind of stuff. I have been sharing every single piece that I've been creating for this month on my Instagram and on my Twitter and up on my website. I am jasminezelmer.com, but I'm also Jasmine Zelmer on Instagram and Twitter and pretty much everywhere. And in the future, I will post each of the videos for the artworks with different topics to talk about, because I just don't have time to fit them all in and actually show you my process. A little bit about this artwork itself. It seems to be a fan favorite. Everybody loves this one that I did. I think it's really fun. And the art prompts have been giving me a chance to really explore my own illustrations and what I am going for and what I want to paint. Let me know if you can spot all the little knickknacks in this picture. I'll say that there is a mouse, there is a pumpkin, there is a geode, and there's also catnip. So let me know if you can spot all of those things, and also let me know at what point you realized where the shadow was in this image. Was it in the very beginning, or did you not really notice until later on? Have fun with all of your prompt artwork this month, guys, and in months to come, and thanks for stopping by.